Hello, and welcome to Excel Highway, your one-stop shop for all your Excel needs. Today I want to show you a Google Sheets file that I created to help you book your staff. The concept of this file is that in this same file, your team, your staff members can define their availability per day, and on another sheet you can book them on the days that they're available, and then you can check if you have enough people per day and if your people are getting enough shifts. So if you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to stick around, like, subscribe, and share. So let's hop to it. The file is very simple. It has three different sheets. There's the list sheet. This is where I defined two drop-down lists, one called staff options for the staff availability sheet. Basically, whatever names that you pop in here will be selectable in the staff availability. Now mind you that I added some conditional formatting, which I'll share of course, that require the name available. So you might want to keep that here. In the booking options, I only have one option called booked, but you can add more if you want. And again, for the conditional formatting piece, booked is required. Of course, you can change the conditional formatting to match your naming. And the staff members, just a list of fake names that I've added here. You need to set up the file this way. Then you hop on over to staff availability. So the staff is going to be generated from the list. You see I'm using a filter. So if I add a name, it will pop up immediately over here. If I change the order, put Matthew here and Lori here, then the order will change. So this makes it nice and easy to update your staff members in only one place. Then you have the day, the date, and you see its formulas. So the date, I'm using the function called text. If you're not familiar, it's a very nice function that you can use to convert information to certain text, like the day, the month, the year. A lot of options. Recommend you test that out in case you need to convert data. So these two are automatically, and then this is the drop-down list selection. You can see I have those three options that I had over here. And if I add an option, then you would see it automatically. Okay. If you're not familiar on how to build the data validation, it's very easy. You highlight the cell that you want, go to data validation. It asks you, there's a few options here, but what I selected is list from a range. I selected lists A number 2 through A, and I didn't fill the number. That means that it's going to check the entire column. You can flag this one, show drop-down list yes or no, and either reject or just show warning. So the show warning means that you can input anything, it's just going to give a warning, but the reject means that you cannot input information. I prefer to have reject when I build drop-down lists. Otherwise, what's the point? So this is the first step. Each person, Lori, needs to go here and select when she's on vacation, when she's not working. Looks like I didn't have any working days for her. You see, I can even type in and it's going to allow that. So this is what they do essentially in the beginning of the week or the month or however far out you want to have this file working. And of course you can add as many columns as you want. You can just drag and delete whatever was already filtered, and then you have more columns, and you see I had a simple function of +1 to the previous date. But of course if you want to build it Monday through Friday, you could just have this one being the first day +7, and eventually you'll have Monday through Friday. So that's really up to you. Okay, moving on to the booking sheet. In the booking sheet, Again, the names of the staff are arriving from the same location from the lists as we saw before. I have a total days booked and total days available, and I have a color conditional formatting if this number is not equal to the available, meaning you have some potential to book this person or you booked too much. Over here on the columns, you have the day and the date, and this is where you select the date. So if I change this to October, it will change this. That's at least how I build it. You don't have to do it. You can maybe build the availability for months and the booking every time change for 1 week out, whatever you want to do. That's fine. It's going to work. The required, these are the number of people that you need. So this is a number that you key in. And the booked is just to count if, counting how many people have the word book next to their name. Now, this, I'm using index match. So if you're not familiar with index match, basically it's a combination of VLOOKUP with age lookup, or so to speak, it's checking the location on a column, on the first column and on the first row. So it's an intersect between two informations, and in this case I'm intersecting the date and the name. So it's looking for the name in this column, so it's going until it finds the name, and it's going for the date on this row. So once it finds the combination like 24th and Lori, it's going to pull the cell with vacation. Okay, it's a very useful function to master, especially working with many sheets. The only part that I added is a simple if. So if C4 is greater than 0, then run the index, otherwise leave it blank, because I don't want NAs here. If I just put something here, I didn't want it to appear like this, and I wanted to have the formulas dragged for many rows. So here in the drop-down list, that's coming from here, from the booking options. So you can see I can either book or leave it blank. And you see the colors. So this means that you have, again, it's not enough people, too much, too little. And this shows you that you have someone who's available that is unbooked. And the way to do that is with format conditional formatting. You simply select here on the selections custom formula, and I added a function. I'll copy it over here so you can see it. If you need to build it once, I built it for the first for this cell. So you see if D4 equals available, sorry, for here, if D4 equal available and E4, the cell that you are supposed to be in, is not booked, then 1 or 0, and the 1 triggers the color. So this is how you build the conditional formatting. If I didn't go over the conditional formatting for this one, it's even simpler. It's just checking if they're not equal, the sign of unequal between D and E, and give it another color. And this can also go on for as much as you want. You just need to drag the formula. So if I drag the formula here, again, I'm using a +1, and you see it's pulling blanks because I did not fill here any data. And if I go even further, it's just going to pop NAs because that date does not exist in the staff availability. So I hope you enjoyed the content of this sheet. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I will see you next time. Take care now.